Hey everybody, Allie Martin, visibility expert here, back again to talk with you about PR for businesses that are just getting started. I get asked this question all the time, so I'm going to dive into it with you today. All right, PR for businesses that are just getting started. I get asked this quite a bit. For businesses that are just getting started, they say, is public relations something I really need to be focusing on in my business? And I think you should be focusing on PR, even if you are just getting started. And I want to talk with you about why. So really, this idea of public relations is monitoring and cultivating relationships with the media. And whenever I very first started working in public relations, I was in a corporate environment, and public relations lived under the marketing umbrella. And so when a lot of people will ask me, like, what's the difference between PR and marketing? I say PR is a part of marketing. And really, I think the PR department, if you are in a corporate setting, or even if you are a solopreneur like myself, that the idea is you really want the PR to integrate with your marketing. In PR, we're coming up with a lot of good media phrases that we can use as a soundbite in an interview. But those same sound bites will translate well on your website, on your social media, in your marketing pieces. So using that same language across all your channels is going to make you seem super cohesive, and it is going to make your customers know exactly who you are and what you do. There will be no confusion because over here on this media interview, you're saying one thing, and on your website, it says something completely different. Everything in this is in alignment, and that will just come across so much more trustworthy to your customers and your community. So that's really one benefit to understanding this need to really focus on PR. But when I think about PR, and I think about the perspective a lot of people have, is its connection to publicity. So this idea of getting media interviews. And I have coined the term the publicity stair-step, because publicity to me is this stair-step approach where we don't automatically go to the top. We don't automatically turn on our business on day one and on day two appear on the Today Show. Now, don't get me wrong, there's probably situations out there where that has happened. But I will say 99.999% of the time, that does not happen. And for the average majority of us out there, we are going to have to stair-step our publicity up to getting to that point. And the way we do that is we start at our low-hanging fruit. We start at that lowest level of publicity, and then once we have achieved that level, we then stair-step up to the next level. And I've actually shared this in media interviews before, this stair-step approach that I've come up with. And I actually had one of those podcasters come back to me just this last week and said, it works. And I said, of course it works. I shared it because I know it works. And he said, well, I was just really surprised. He said, I actually used the tactics you shared in that interview with me, and it worked. I wrote a press release. I sent it to my local market. It was picked up, and now I'm able to use that article that was published in my local paper, and I was able to get interest from industry publications. And so the stair-step works because it goes from local up to industry, and then from industry up to national. And I was really excited for him because it is really cool to see when it does work for other people. But of course, I did know it works before I shared it with everybody. But starting with your local market. So whenever you think about, are you in a chamber of commerce? What opportunities do they have to showcase your business? Local newspapers. This is something that even giants like Amazon use to connect with their clientele. They don't just throw up an ad on NBC Nightly News and show that every night. They don't just throw up Google ads or Facebook ads. They really focus on their local markets. They give donations to the veterans clubs in those communities. They go into the schools and donate to the science labs, the STEM departments. They really do give back on a local level because they know that that is so much more trustworthy than focusing on something nationally. So think about it from this perspective. If your local paper did a write-up on something happening in your community, you would really trust what they said. Versus if the Wall Street Journal or the New York Times came in and wrote the same or similar piece about something happening in your community. You would think, well, they don't know. They're not from here. They're just an outsider coming in to write about this. And even if you didn't know, the situation there, and you're reading one or the other, you know the people working at your hometown paper. You know the individuals that are advertising in that newspaper. So you automatically trust that local source so much more than you do a national source. Now, the beauty of a national source is they can reach a ton of people. But when you think about trustworthiness, local is a great place to start. It is the best place to start, really. So when it comes to local, if you have even TV or radio in your community, again, these are people you know. They're having other individuals that you know on the show, and it is just putting you in this perspective that you are a leader within your local community. And so then once you have those opportunities, you stair-step it up and you start to pitch yourself to industry publications. So if I was working in the spa industry at one point, and so there were certain spa publications that I would pitch stories to. These would not be the same stories that I would pitch to national markets, and certainly wouldn't be pitching these to local markets because it didn't apply to the local markets. So your pitches always need to really consider who the audience is and who the audience of those outlets are. So your audience is the editors, the publishers, the producers of these outlets. The outlets then have their audiences. So keeping in mind what that audience is, what that end goal is in mind. And then of course, once you get those industry publications, you're considered an industry leader. And those industry leaders are what the national market, the national outlets are looking for. They want to talk with the best of the best in those industries. And you never know when those opportunities can come up, but you can definitely be pitching in the meantime. But sometimes those will just happen by chance. I've been featured in Rachel Ray on CNN and in Forbes, and oftentimes they just kind of come about in a matter of hours or minutes. It's not really something where we can plan that far out. So it does take some pitching and work ahead of time, but putting it all together can really happen quickly, so you have to be ready. But I have seen PR be a tactic that local businesses have used, and it has completely transformed their business because they are able to get that automatic trustworthiness by appearing in these publications that the community members just open up or turn on their TV and know and love. So I really want to encourage you, even if you feel like, oh, I'm just starting out, I'm too new to be getting into PR, or my business is too small to be focused on PR. I don't have a whole lot of outlets or media outlets to be pitching or to be reaching out to. And I just want to encourage you to think about that in a different manner, because there's definitely value in connecting with your audience, your clients, your customers through those modes where they are getting their news or where they are spending time online. So PR for businesses, even if they are just getting started, is definitely something you should be considering. And if you have questions on that, if you're watching this on YouTube, I want you to drop a comment and let me know what questions you have on this, or feel free to reach out to me. If you're listening to this on the podcast, you'll find all of my social media links in the notes section, and you can definitely reach out to me that way. But either way, make sure you are subscribed so you do not miss the next episode that I drop. Thanks so much, and talk to you soon. Bye.